Hello and welcome back to the show, episode 5. Episode 5. I promise this time I won't repeat the episode number 100 times like I did in episode 4. I actually just edited that episode a couple minutes ago, and I was like, shit, man. I think we get it. We can read episode 4. This is now episode 5. So in case you were wondering, 4 was before this, and now we're on episode 5, just so everybody's aware. As we kind of keep going, I'm glad that the last episode we talked about spies, and I really enjoy that kind of content. I think it's fun, and I think that hopefully it's engaging for you listening out there. And I thought that today we'd kind of continue in the same theme of not really undercover, but things that are on the DL, which is the name of the show. Oh, wow, I'm so smart. Anyway. By the way, if you're curious of starting your own show and where to get started and how to get your show onto major streaming platforms like Spotify and Amazon and Apple and all the cool people, so I use a site that's called RSS Feed, and the way that it works to get podcasts, I don't know if it's different for music, but anyway, for podcasts, you have to upload them to a hosting site. So the actual episodes themselves you're not uploading them to Spotify directly like you would a YouTube video would just go straight into YouTube. The podcasts are uploaded to a site, in my case RSS. From there they distribute to all of the platforms. So I'm looking in my my profile right now, and I can upload directly to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and then there's a whole bunch of them. Podcast Index, Listen Notes, the RSS Community, and then a bunch of them that I've never heard of before, no offense. But hey, shout out to anybody if you're listening on Podverse and or True Fans. What is that? True Fans. Am I up? Are these going to an audio version of OnlyFans? Because I'd like to know if that's the case. True Fans, I've never heard of that. Fountain, Castro, Castbox. Oh, these are getting weirder. Deezer? Who the fuck? What is Deezer? Hey, iHeartRadio. I know them. Oh, wait, I'm actually not even on iHeartRadio or Pandora. Okay. Or Deezer. God damn it. The hell am I paying for if I'm not on Deezer? Anyway, this, I did pay for the plan, the subscription plan. It was $140 a year, which is not bad. Considering there are other sites, and Buzzsprout is another one. I used them a couple years ago. I think that same deal. They offer monthly packages, but essentially if you don't have a subscription, I don't think that you can upload to all the different directories. I think you only get a couple. So that's it. So RSS Feed, if you're interested in starting your own show. I don't like it when you start a channel or you start a show and there's this almost gatekeeping or this kind of mystery of I don't know how I got so popular, and I don't know how my things being uploaded, and I don't want to do that. I want this to be, obviously a show. I'm talking about various topics and things, and there are some things that obviously I'm not going to share, my internal settings and my monetization numbers and analytics and things like that. But I think that it could be beneficial for people who are looking to start their own programs or their own shows, to create their own whatever it is, whether it's a podcast or a YouTube video. I'm just very passionate about creating things of any mediums. That's very vague, but I've done photography for a long time. I've done video editing and motion graphics and graphic design, and I've worked in a lot of different creative fields for a ton of different teams and industries now, and done my own side projects. So I think that it would be beneficial not only for me to continue to learn, but also for you. If you're listening and you've ever thought about trying to do something, I would recommend that you do it, because why not? You only have one life, and also, who cares? Just do it. This is fun. There's hold on. Let me rephrase this. I'm very thankful and very appreciative for everybody listening and watching. I'm really glad, and I'm glad that that one, my subscription is working, and that these episodes are actually going out to where they say that they are, and then that two, I'm providing some entertainment and content for you. That being said, like 10 people listened to the first one, and you know what? That's perfect. That's 9 more people than I thought were going to listen. So thank you. And it doesn't matter about the view counts, especially this is, again, the 5th episode. So, like, it's going to take time for this to grow and to build a community and to expand into like a bigger production, but that's fine. I'm just here because I enjoy doing it, and I hope that you enjoy listening. And so if you've taken anything from this preamble ranting sesh, the first 5 or 6 minutes, go for it. Do whatever it is that you are thinking about doing, and don't look at the view count, don't look at the subscribers or whatever it is. Do it because you enjoy doing it. I know that it can be hard, especially with how big social media is. It can be hard to put yourself out there and to try something new, and then to see like nobody's watching or cares. And that's fine. Like, it's fine, because at the core of it, you should be doing these things for yourself. And then, on the back end, that's when the following comes. And so just go for it. Just do it. And if I can be of any help, in helping somebody else with questions that they have about starting in their own show or podcast or YouTube channel or whatever it is, I might not have, let me rephrase that. I definitely don't have all the answers, but I have some of the answers, so I'm happy to share them. Okay, so with that being said, I think that today the topic we're going to talk about it's pretty local, so I didn't know anything about this until I moved here. It is I wouldn't say a Las Vegas staple, because I've talked to some people who have lived here for a long time, and they had no idea about this thing that we're going to talk about. And that thing is Janet Airlines. Now, some of you, if you're aware of what this is, it's kind of like a fun, if you've seen them flying around, it's fun to like point them out. I really hope that I don't get put on some list somewhere. So the overview of what this is, Janet Airlines, and I'm sorry, this has nothing to do with Janet Jackson or anybody else named Janet. Janet is actually an acronym, and we will get into that very soon. Today, most of the information is going to come from an extremely reliable and trustworthy source called Wikipedia. I will offer a caveat that I have seen one of these planes flying in the air with my own eyeballs, and I have seen them on Flight Radar, to which, if you are not on Flight Radar, if you don't have the app, I would recommend downloading it. My girlfriend, shout out Mandy, she is like totally obsessed and a huge nerd, and she loves Flight Radar. And she showed me, you can look at any plane, you could track any flight from anywhere, and it's really cool. And now I've become obsessed with it, as it's just, I think planes are cool, even though I'm terrified to be on them. What a conundrum? What is a conniption versus a conundrum? I can't say either one of them, so maybe I won't use either one of those words. I think a conundrum is that's like a problem, but then a conniption, is that like a fight? Who knows? Maybe we'll figure it out by episode 6. Janet Airlines. And if you are downloading Flight Radar right now, you probably won't see these guys flying around. You might. Sometimes I've seen them. I tracked one for a little bit, and then it just disappears off of the face of the app. So download Flight Radar. You can look at some cool planes. You can, scroll to any airport you want, but for certain ones like Janet and other like military aircraft, you can see them for a bit, and then they just kind of go off the grid. Then they reemerge, a day later, just doing whatever the hell they're doing. Okay, Janet and Janet Airlines are the unofficial names of highly classified passenger aircraft operated by the United States Department of the Air Force. Those guys, our friends over at the Air Force. And all these planes they're big ass planes. Like these are not like little Cessna, four seaters. Like these are like 737, like a Southwest plane, like big boy aircraft. Also, I should take a moment. I just totally called my girlfriend a nerd and then didn't even like acknowledge that. So sorry, but I love you. Anyway, Janet Airlines. Okay, so it's an employee shuttle. It transports military members, Department of Defense civilians, contract employees, basically anybody who has special access to highly classified information and technology and materials, and that they need to go wherever they're going to go very quickly and very securely and on an airplane. Now, I think what's probably the coolest part about these Janet planes is that they fly out of the main, like the Harry Reid International Airport here in Las Vegas. So like they're next to Delta and like they're right there. Like they take off with everybody else. The ones that I have seen, or the one that I tracked, flew to a little place called Area 51. Burr, burr, burr. I really need to get a soundboard is what I need. Soundboard for the sound effects so that I don't have to do them manually. Maybe if we get to episode 10, I'll buy a soundboard. Before I buy a soundboard, though, I should also probably get a podcasting mic. That would probably be a good idea. As I'm getting emails, as you can tell, this is not a very high production here. As I'm, let me mute all these other devices that I have near me. Okay. So, Janet, which, by the way, Harry Reid Airport and Area 51, allegedly, they're not very far. Like, you could, allegedly, drive there. I don't want to fucking Google directions to Area 51 because that's like right away. You're gone. There will not be an episode 6 if I start doing that. But it's not far. You don't need a plane to get there. At least I don't think you do. Like you definitely could just drive there. But these planes, they fly pretty frequently. There are allegedly 11 planes in the fleet. They've been operating since 1972, and the main areas that they go to, and I'm probably going to mispronounce this, so if you are from this place, I apologize, the Tonopah Test Range, Tonopah, Tonopah Test Range, Tonopah Test Range, and the Hominy Airport, Hominy Homey, Homey Airport. Fuck it, Area 51. That's what that is. So if anyone says Homey Airport to you, and I guarantee you watch, there's going to be some dude sitting at a desk at Area 51 listening to this right now and go like, this motherfucker doesn't even know how to pronounce the name of the base. You don't have to worry about me, dude. I can't even pronounce the name of the base. Okay, so like I'm not trying to do anything crazy. All right, I'm literally a guy reading Wikipedia, talking into a microphone by himself. So I am one step above like the crazy conspiracy theory guys. I just haven't put on like a tinfoil hat, and I also shower, and I also have a girlfriend. If I haven't mentioned that, not to disrespect the people who do the conspiracy theories and don't shower and don't have girlfriends, but I'm not one of them. I'm just a guy who has a show. I'm getting off the rails. So, Janet, the call sign of Janet. What does that stand for? Well, it stands for just another non-existent terminal or joint air network for employee transportation. I like the first one, just another non-existent terminal, because on flight radar, you can see the planes. If you're tracking one, it'll say, hey, Southwest flight is going to land at, Terminal 1, Gate 11, or whatever it is, or Gate C5. I don't know. Janet and most military ones, there's no gates. There's no terminals. A lot of the times you can't even see, you can see where they started, if you're lucky, but usually the destination, it just says not available. And then when they get close to wherever they're going, they just kind of disappear. So when they get close to fucking Hominy Airport, whatever the fuck it, Area 51, when they get close to that, they just kind of disappear. Same with the Tonopah test range, when they get close to that, they're gone. The first flight from Las Vegas to Area 51, they were performed in 1972 by a Douglas DC-6 operated by EG&G. EG&G. A second DC-6 was added in 1967, and this type remained in use until 1981. Eventually, they started to add Boeing 737s into the fleet, and then they have some other Air Force T-43s demodified to conventional transport configurations. As of November of 2023, I don't know why I said it like that. As of November of 2023, the U.S. Air Force is looking for a new civilian contractor to operate the Janet fleet. Hey, I'll do it. In solicitation, they outlined that a potential new operator would have to operate... Why can't I read this? They outlined that a potential new operator would have to operate up to 190 flights per week. God damn. 190 a week? Shit. So, obviously, this begs the question, like, what and who are so important that you can't even drive them? You have to fly them out there. Like, what are they transporting, or who are they transporting? And I don't even know when they land at Harry Reid. So they come from the base, or bases, and they land at Harry Reid. Do they just go, like, through... They can't just go through normal security. If you're getting on a fucking, like, private 737, you're not going to be at Starbucks with everybody else. There's no way. I just want to know, like, what is going on up there? And these planes, they have a very distinct... This is where I think they went wrong. Okay, they have a very distinct look. They're all white. The no logos, no, it doesn't say Janet plane. We're going to, it doesn't have like an alien on the side of it or anything. But they're just all white, no logos, no, commercial branding or anything like that. One solid red stripe that goes from the front to the back, along where the windows are. So this red stripe goes from it's level with the cockpit, and it goes all the way down to the tail, basically, right where the windows are. So, and I you can see it, like, clearly. The one that I saw it was sometime in the afternoon, and it was landing. And so when they get low enough, you can clearly, it's like, what the hell is that? That doesn't look like any other plane, that I've ever seen. And I had never heard of this until I moved here. I think since I've been here, I've only seen one in person, and then, like, tracking wise, maybe one or two. So the 190 a week, what time are they flying? Man, that is nuts. Oh, here we go. I should have scrolled a little bit further. Due to its secrecy, this is from Wikipedia. Due to its secrecy, Janet Airline boards at a standalone terminal on the west side of Harry Reid International. West side, what's up? I don't know why I did that. Yeah, I mean, oh, okay, here we go. Due to its secrecy, again, Janet Airlines uses special codes for its destinations. Even the location identifier frequency used as a destination/departure field, for example, TKM or KTKM internationally, is not an ICAO code for an airport, but it is likely used for Area 51. This location identifier is listed as a tie-in facility for Tonopah Test Range base operations in FAA documentation, at least as recently of 2020. Not all destination codes are known, but here are some of them. I'm not going to read them because you can do that. And also, I don't feel like airing all their dirty laundry for then the FBI to be like, so you just talked about all of the bases that we go to with these flights? Yeah, that was really smart, huh? It's mainly California and Nevada, as I mentioned, the Tonopah Test Range, Harry Reid, Area 51, and then a couple places in California as well. Maybe, I'll just read the places that they go, but giving out the codes feels a little, like, scandalous. And also, you don't know or care about the codes. I don't even know what these codes mean, so fuck it. They go to Palmdale, the U.S. Air Force Production Flight Test Installation, Plant 42. Okay, that is where the UFOs are. Area 51? Meh, old news. That was Area 51. That was when your grandpa kept the aliens. Okay, Plant 42. That's where all the homies making making aliens. What? Anyway, they also fly to China Lake, huh? Naval Air Weapons Station, China Lake. Okay, well, that's in California. Oh, the Mojave Desert. I heard it's nice this time of year. Psych, it's 137. Edwards Air Force Base. Okay, yep, I know where that. I've heard of that place. By the way, I'm hovering over the Air Force Edwards Air Force Base. There we go. Hovering over the link, and they have a picture of an F-35. Those are some of the coolest planes I think I've ever seen. You got to look one of those up. It's so cool. I mean, it just looks so sleek, and I'm assuming, and this could be totally wrong, somebody let me know. I'm assuming that those are like the, Ferrari of the... They're basically all Ferraris flying around. Like, they're just so cool looking and angular, but the F-35 is just, it's awesome. And like a stealth bomber. I still remember the first time I ever saw a stealth bomber. I was living in Hayward, California, shout out, and I was in my backyard. I must have been, we moved when I was like 7. So yeah, I must have been around like 6 or 7. And I was standing with my parents in the backyard, and I remember looking up at the sky, and it almost looked like, I remember thinking that there was a hole in the sky, because it's like pure black, and the shape of it is so ridiculous. Like, it does not look like a plane, especially to a 6 or 7-year-old. I mean, none of that looks natural or like a human being made it. And the shape of it being way up there, I mean, it really looked like there was a hole, and it was moving, pretty quickly. But yeah, I just remember thinking like, that can't, like, what is that? I had never seen anything like that, and still to this day, every time I see one, I stop and, like, I think that they have them at the Rose Bowl. They fly over every time. Like, I don't understand the science of it, the mathematics of how do you get something, one, that is that heavy, two, that, I mean, I guess it has wings, but it doesn't look like a normal, I understand a normal plane, a Cessna or whatever, pulling in air, the air goes, up and over and below the wings, and that creates a bit of like lift, and you're, pushing and pulling against gravity and all that good stuff. But this thing, like, the engines are in the back, and it's so cool, and I could talk about it for hours. Yeah, stealth bomber, all that stuff. The B-1 Lancer, that's another cool plane. Even in Top Gun, the I don't even know. I'm assuming that it's probably real, or I don't know. The Dark Star, or the F-117. Those are some cool planes. They're just so angular. And then on the bottom, the F-117 is like flat, and it has these two in the back, like two wings or I guess tails that stick out at like 45-degree angles on the left and the right. I don't understand how can a human being, one, design that, and then two, build it so that it flies through the air. Sometimes I feel like a complete psychopath when I'm on even like a regular commercial flight, and everyone else is sitting there and they're munching away. I hope we get snacks later. I just can't get over the fact that we're 35,000 feet in the air going like 600 miles an hour. Like, no humans in the history of humanity have ever done that. Like, you understand, 100 years ago, that was a dream. That was like, there were generations of people who dreamed of flying, and now we're upset if my magic machine is delayed 15 minutes. That's crazy talk. You get on an aircraft that is built and maintained by strangers, who is also being flown by complete strangers, and they do that every day, and they fly all around the world. You could go anywhere you want. And Southwest still has the audacity to get rid of fucking check bags. Yeah, that's right. I didn't forget. I didn't forget about you, Southwest. How could you do us like that? And I just got my free. Well, hold on. It wasn't free, but I just got 50,000 bonus miles because I signed up for the credit card. Ooh, and I spent $1,000 before July 18th. Ooh, they got me. So back to Janet and the Janet fleet. Allegedly, as of 2015, the fleet consists of 6 Boeing 737s. The fleet is registered to the Department of Air Force. I thought there was... maybe their fleet size has increased since 2015 because this says their fleet size is 11 now. So maybe in 2015 it was 6. And again, there's a bunch of serial numbers and tail numbers. This is all just on Wikipedia, by the way, government. So if you don't want people talking about it, I'm not like going to some crazy rank-a-dank site. I'm just I did one Google search and I am there have been accidents. The one reported accident happened March 16th of 2004 at 4:01. I don't know if it's PM or AM. It doesn't say. I also don't know. Is that like military time? I don't know how that works. Okay. During approach, the pilot reported runway in sight and entered a circle pattern. The pilot then became impacted due to sudden cardiac arrest. During the turn, the plane entered a dive before crashing into the ground and bursting into flames as its fuel load ignited. It was later revealed that the pilot suffered from high blood pressure and had neglected to report it. The damage, this is interesting, the damage is listed as W/O, which stands for a write-off, is a reduction of the recognized value of something in account. Wait, so they're just... Was that a tax write-off? The whole plane was just a tax write-off. Just... fuck it, we lost it. Damn, fatalities, all 5 on board. R.I.P., man. That sucks. And they crashed 7 miles southeast of the Tonopah test range, and this was a Beech 1900C aircraft. So these look smaller. They kind of look weird, but they're smaller, and they have the propeller planes. Another reason why I will not get on a propeller plane. No propellers for me. A Beechcraft 1900C. And that's the only one. That's the only reported incident. All Janet 737 aircraft were acquired from Air China, and 4 were previously operated by the now-defunct China Southwest Airlines, before being acquired for U.S. Air Force operations starting in 2008. The aircraft were initially taken to the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base before being transferred to Las Vegas. So we didn't even make the planes ourselves, and they're flying to one of the most top-secret bases in the whole country? God damn, man. I mean, am I wrong for not trusting China Southwest Airlines? I mean, well, whatever. We don't make a lot of things here anyway, so I would just assume that if it was in the military, that like the military would make the planes, or like you would just take like a Boeing 737 from the Boeing plant. But what do I know? I'm just a guy talking into a microphone alone in his room. So, yeah, that is the story of Janet Airlines. Just another non-existent terminal. Now, if you are using Flight Radar, you can scroll wherever you're at. You can scroll to Las Vegas, and you can go to Harry Reid Airport, and you can click on some of the planes, and you might get lucky. You might see a Janet plane sitting there. Sometimes like their call signs are all kind of like crazy, and it might not say, Janet going to Area 51, but you can see pictures on there, and this says here, Janet flights operate with a 3-digit flight number and a WWW prefix. The official publication of ICAO airline codes. The specific 3-letter designator is listed as being blocked. The primary airline call sign is simply Janet, though flight transmissions to alternate call signs called Groom call signs. One's transferred over to Groom Lake from Nellis Control. The name typically changes, and the number will be the last 2 digits of the flight number plus 15. For example, if the call sign were Janet 412 and were transferred to Groom Lake Control, the call sign would be something like Bunny 27. I don't really understand what I just read, but there it is. I read it. Maybe you understand it, and maybe you'll see what they're talking about. But for me, all I know is I saw one, and they're pretty cool, and it's kind of like a local Las Vegas kind of a thing. If I happen to see one again, I will report back my findings. And yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see if, I'm assuming that this isn't the only instance of this taking place, but I think that Las Vegas's proximity to alleged military installations like Area 51 or the Tonopah test range and like Edwards Air Force Base makes this a pretty unique situation where you have to fly people to these air bases. If you are like really interested in aviation, Las Vegas is a really cool place for it, and like Nevada has a lot of history of blowing shit up. And I think that someone beat the let me look this up, the land speed record. This could be another good topic for another episode. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so the current world land speed record is 763 miles an hour. I probably had to poop. Sorry, that was dumb. That was so dumb. This guy broke a record. He built basically a spaceship on the ground. It looks like a pod racer from Star Wars, and all I can say is, he probably had to go shit. Sorry. He built it October 15th, 1997. Andy Green in the Thrust SSC, and it was set in the Black Rock Desert north of Reno. So Nevada has a long history of people breaking, land and air records and test flights and all these really cool things. So it's pretty cool. If you're interested in machines that go fast, check out some of the things we got going on here in Nevada. Okay, that is going to wrap up episode number 5. I hope you have enjoyed. And before I go, I should mention you can follow me on Instagram, OTDL Podcast. So I started an Instagram account for the podcast. You can also find the show on, chances are you're already listening on Spotify or Apple. It's also available on Amazon. And then this is pretty cool. That same site that I use, that RSS feed, they offer, the software will fucking use AI and it will make YouTube videos with your audio. So if you want to listen on YouTube, you can do that too. For those of you who are in a different tax bracket than me and you have YouTube Premium, and you can listen to videos and shows by clicking your phone and whatnot, you can do that too. It's also available for those of us who don't have YouTube Premium. You don't need Premium. It's a video with my audio, and there's like the logo in the background. You'll see. Go to YouTube. Check it out on the DL podcast. And as always, if you are interested in some of the other things that I have going on, I am starting a community of people trying to learn new things, every month, every day, really. And it's called New Day, New Skill. There's a separate account for that. You can look up New Day, New Skill. That's a place where, if you're trying to learn anything, it can be cooking, drawing. I almost said reading. If you're trying to learn how to read, come join us. Come join the everybody learning together. It's a supportive community. It's a new day, new skill. Then you can also follow my personal account if that is interesting to you. It's really not all that interesting. I wouldn't really recommend following my personal account, but you can if you want. It's just my name, Daniel LeClaire. All right, that's going to be it for me. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you in episode 6. See you later.